During his time serving Myanmar's democratic government, Professor Turnell faced unprecedented challenges, including his arbitrary arrest and imprisonment following the failed military coup in February 2021. His 650 days of incarceration were marked by unimaginable hardship and adversity, yet he emerged from this harrowing experience with an unbroken spirit and an unyielding commitment to the cause that he believes in. He's still standing up for us, and then also for the oppressed people in Myanmar. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from the man of the hour, Professor Turnell.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you to distinguished guests, but look, you're all distinguished, so that's all of you. Thanks to Turnell, to Dean Smith, Monzin, Dr. Turnell, everyone. Thank you so much. I just noticed looking at the book, I wanted to read something out of the book, but if you look very closely, actually you don't even need to look that closely. I'm actually wearing the same clothes. I have got changed since, by the way, just the red one. But anyway, if I look familiar, that might be the reason. As always, I have very eloquently thanked all of you in the Burmese community, so I just want to echo that. But she did it much better than me, but just to add my own strength and feeling on that, I always get inspired whenever I meet the members of the Burmese community here in Sydney, all around Australia, all around the world. And in fact, usually, I get so inspired, the remarks that I always plan to make get pushed aside by new things that have come along, and certainly that's the case today. What delight to get the greeting from Zema, the Minister. Last time I saw her, and this location will be familiar to so many of you here, I can remember I was struggling along. I was walking just outside the Aung San market, and I had all these packages with me, and she was driving past, and I want to say she was driving a little Volkswagen Beetle, or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And she sort of came to a screeching halt and said, "Sure, where are you going?" And I was way out of her way, and she gave me a lift and drove me home, and that was the last time I saw her, I think, in person. So just to say that. Also, Dr. Turnell quoted Dr. Tunzor. Wow, that's just knocked me back, because Dr. Tunzor was so good to me in the present in so many ways. But he was my coffee supplier, above all, which is a really significant thing, because so many political prisoners in this audience, you'll know that coffee functions as a currency. And if I could put my monetary policy hat on for a moment, which is never that far away, I talk about coffee and as currency in this book. The other thing, Janelle mentioning all the political prisoners here, so obviously I'm seeing some of you here today, but when I was in the prison and I was put in this cell, one of the first things I noticed, and even though the prison officers had painted over the walls over and over again, I could see all the marks in the walls, the messages the previous prisoners left, and I was able to read them, and it really gave me great comfort. And in the book I talk about, there was this bizarre, one of the cells I had, very bizarrely, there was a picture of Spider-Man that somebody had carved in the wall. I have no idea why, but anyway, it was really great to see this picture of Spider-Man. My only regret is that I forgot to carve my own initials. I didn't even think of it, I think. People have made much of the fact that before being put in this prison, I never even got a parking ticket, and I think that's part of it, right? I don't think I would dare carve my name. Anyway, opportunity is the last. The only other things I wanted to say, because I think we've got a Q&A later, and it'd be good to answer anything you might want to talk about. I just wanted to quote a couple of things out of the book, just some small passages, because they highlight something really important to me. And it's right at the start of the book on page 9, the author's note, and it's just a passage from a very famous old French historian called Marc Bloch, and it just says, "We are vanquished for a moment by an unjust destiny. But the time will come, I feel sure, when our collaboration can again be made public and again be free. Meanwhile, it is in these pages filled with your presence that, for my part, our joint work goes on. Now, what's so special about that passage to me is that Mark Bloch wrote this while under threat of the Nazis. So he was there in occupied France. He had nothing, all his paper had been taken away, all these things. He was about to be taken off to the concentration camps, where he was, and he was executed. But he wrote that, but the important thing about it is that he's talking about the unseen presence of all these friends and so on, and that one day their story would be told, but that in the book he was writing at the time, their presence was there. And for me, that's this, right? So my name's in it, a few other names are in it, but there are literally hundreds and thousands of Burmese names that are not here, but they are here. Some I know in my head, and I wish I could mention their names here. I see their Facebook posts, many of them have been released. I'm desperate even just to hit like, and I can't. So all those people are very central. But the reason why I grabbed that passage was because it highlighted that issue to me, the unheard voices of all these Burmese friends of mine and all of yours. And the passage came from a book that Har sent to me in the prison. So I always wanted to use that passage as well. So it has such deep meaning to me, not only because of what it says, but even the nature by which I came to know it. And then just a final little thing, I just wanted to read a little passage in the book because it tells of pain and sadness of leaving Myanmar for that last time. 1 year ago yesterday, 1 year ago today I got back here, 1 year ago yesterday I left Myanmar for the last time. And I think it will resonate with you guys, right? Because so many of you here will have one last glimpse of Myanmar. And so this happened to me. I was put on this plane, we take off, and we're just disappearing into the clouds. And I had one last look down on Yangon. So I just wanted to read that from the book. So as the plane ascended, I took in some long last looks as Yangon slipped away below us. How often had I seen this view? 100, 200 times. Would I ever return to this place that meant so much to me? The golden glow of the Shwedagon Pagoda pierced the enveloping clouds. The old colonial buildings of the riverfront came into view, the parks, the lakes, the markets. I just caught the edge of insane before we crossed the river, arched over the paddy fields of the delta, turned east over Tharmawing. The mud brown of land, sea indeterminacy that was Myanmar's border with the world disappeared from sight. So that was my last glimpse of Myanmar, exactly a year ago and a day. I hope one day to see it again, as I'm sure everyone here does. Profound thank you to everyone here. You saved my life and you inspire me every single day. Thank you.